What's going on, Gridiron fans? I'm Nathan Takitch here with Blaine Carragher, ready to break down another exciting week in the TVC-Ohio. And Blaine, we had 3 more games this week, all conference matchups between our teams. Athens and Alexander was the first one on the list. And, Athens trying to maintain that perfect season, go undefeated. And, Alexander coming into this one, you thought they might have a chance with their high-scoring offense to keep it close, but in the end, Athens' offense was just too much.
Yeah, Athens took down Alexander 83-14 at home on Friday. They had 5 touchdowns alone in the first quarter, and in that first quarter, they averaged 45 seconds per touchdown drive, and this can all be attributed to those 3 Player of the Year candidates, Joe Burrow, Trey Williams, and Ryan Lerman. Joe Burrow achieved perfection when he threw for 11 and 282 yards in the first half, and he didn't see any of that second half. And then Trey Williams, he also played both sides of the ball. We always hear about that Bulldogs offense, but the Bulldogs defense on the night was making some great hits. And Ryan Lerman, he had a trick pass to his brother Adam for 42 yards. So all in all, this offense just proved to be way too much for Alexander.
Well, big offensive showcase for the Bulldogs in Week 7. Now looking at another matchup, Meigs and Vinton County. This was a big game, the game for second place. And Meigs, they had another offensive showcase as well. They played really well.
Yeah, Meigs took down Vinton County 46-20 at home. It was their homecoming game. And so Vinton County on the opening kickoff, they lost one of their players, Sean Cadill, on a knee injury. So this really affected the Vikings. And then Meigs, they just ran that offensive clinic throughout the rest of the game. Caleb Sheets and Cody Bartram, they switched on and off at quarterback, and they had a combined 290 yards on the night, and they often connected with their favorite wide receiver, Ty Phelps. He received for 117 yards, and Andy Long for the Vikings, he tried to produce, but his offense only produced 210 yards compared to Meigs' 478.
Wow, another exciting game in the TVC-Ohio, but the most exciting game of the week had to be the matchup between Wellston and Nelsonville-York. Now, this game was for bragging rights mostly. The winner of this game would move up into the 4th spot in the standings. Wellston came away with a close win.
Yeah, Wellston came away with a win 19-16 against Nelsonville-York. This is the first time since 2002 that Wellston took down the Buckeyes. And so they're 2 similar teams this year. And so in the 3rd quarter, Nelsonville-York, they actually came back. They had 2 touchdowns due to Colt Adams and Jeremy Warren, and they had 2-point conversions that they made. But then Braden Walmerdorf, he led his team down the field, 58-yard drive with 1 minute and 28 seconds remaining in the game, and he had 169 yards on the night. So Wellston pulled away with this win.
So an exciting win for Wellston. Meigs and Athens get the other wins in the TVC-Ohio for Week 7. You look at the updated standings. The Bulldogs and Meigs Marauders 2-0, tied atop the conference. Vinton County and Wellston sitting at 1-1 each, 3-4. And Nelsonville-York and Alexander, they're the 5-6 teams, 0-2, both on the conference. Alexander losing 6 straight games, 2 teams that we're used to seeing near the top of the conference. So an interesting jumble of teams this year as we go into Week 8. Now, speaking of Week 8, you look ahead, we've got an exciting matchup between Athens and Vinton County. Now, if you would have told us before this season that this would be a game to watch, we wouldn't have believed you, because Vinton County, they were 1-9 a year ago, but this Vinton County team has proven that they can compete with the top teams in this conference.
Yeah, definitely. They are coming off a loss against Meigs from last week, but if this defense makes some adjustments, they could hold in there with that Athens offense. And if their rush game is working with Tim Ousley and Jordan Hayes, I think they have the potential to take down the Athens offense.
Well, it could be an exciting game there. We'll have to see. Now, Meigs, we're going to look at them a lot, especially after this big win against Vinton County in Week 7. Looking ahead to Week 8, they play Wellston. 2 hot teams coming into this one. Meigs, 3 straight wins. Wellston has won 2 of their last 3. So a really interesting matchup here between 2 teams with a full head of steam. Wellston, I will say this, Wellston would probably be the underdog in this game, but they've been able to manage some rogue wins the last few years against teams ahead of them in the standings. So it could be a game where Wellston might just sneak up on Meigs. It'll be a really exciting game to see. And another exciting game is the last one in the TVC-Ohio, Nelsonville-York, Alexander. The 2 teams that I was talking about, 5-6 in the conference with rich histories. So this one's going to be a lot on the line in terms of bragging rights.
Yeah, definitely. These teams have been struggling this year, but these teams also have 2 very impressive offenses. The Nelsonville-York Buckeyes, they like to work it around on the ground, but then Brody McGrath for the Alexander Spartans, he likes to air it out. So whichever offense can find a way to produce more, they're going to pull away with this win.
Well, overall, it sounds like a really exciting week coming up in the TVC-Ohio, as always. And as always, make sure you join us on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB for Gridiron Glory. You can join host Keith Turner and the rest of our crew to watch that one. And always be sure to check us out on the web at woub.org/gridiron for all things football.
And that's all we have for you tonight. For Nathan Takitch, I'm Blaine Carragher, reminding you there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.